Radio, spiritual radio. This is achieveradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.
Hi, I'm Anne Marie, and hey, Joseph, how are you
Hi,
today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. It's really
Good.
warm and
We have a beautiful day here. It looks very what I call high def.
high def. What is a high def
Yes.
day?
Yeah, very high def, super sharp electric blue sky and bright sunlight, and everything
Oh,
green looks like it's just, super vibrant because we've had lots of rain up until the last couple of days, and so everything is just like exploding and just gorgeous.
oh, you've had rain?
Yeah. Oh, we had rain for about a week actually last week, and then we had then we just started to have our sunny days, and it jumped in temperature to like 80,
Yep.
and then
It
it
was
dropped
about,
down to 50. It's just whoop 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 whoop. But now we're in this really nice, beautiful summer, I mean late spring day. It's my favorite month, I have to say. Yeah.
I would say that today I completed all of my gardening, and
Wow.
um, I always know that it is the end or the start. Now it's just time to fertilize the plants and watch them grow.
Hmm.
Because I do all this gardening, and I set out this turquoise table with this turquoise chair set that's against this greenhouse. And for whatever reason, it just goes boom and pops, and that's when it's all
Wow.
done. So I always know that that's the completion of my gardening when I get that turquoise table out.
Turquoise seems to be right about now. It's one of my favorite colors. There's something about turquoise that it keeps showing up. This time of year, this particular month, and it's very coincidental. Like, oh, you get something and it's turquoise, and you happen to buy something else, and what you like happens to be in turquoise, and it's like I'm buying matching turquoise items. It must be something to do with the color, the feel. When I think of turquoise, I think of warm weather. I think of the Southwest. I think of you know the areas. I think of other colors along with it, like turquoise and coral and turquoise and sand colors, and just this wonderful sort of ocean feel to it, this coolness. That's why it seems to be the color that I feel right now. So I don't know if you know what I mean. I'm looking at you and I see this turquoise scarf or something that looks like it would go with. I think, oh, perfect. This is a good omen.
This is my house and my
This is
and my
my
table.
color.
I'm representing my house and my table today.
Oh, there
But
you go.
I'm not for some reason getting you on my side. So I'm a little
Oh,
bit
well,
I
I'm
can't really
seeing.
see
I
what you're.
lost you here. What I'm seeing now is a bunch of slide adjustments from the engine. Oh, there we go. As soon as I
Oh,
said that, it went away. Maybe they weren't aware that it was happening. I was seeing the controls of the slide
yeah,
their
usually we have a
controls.
little thing in the corner there.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but
it's interesting. Yeah.
one of the things that I find very strange. You know what they say, synchronistic. Things happen in a
Yeah.
synchronistic way. I believe color vibration can be very synchronistic. I mean, we can say that it's the marketers just trying to shoot out a specific color scheme so that we
Mhm.
all run out and buy something. But I'll tell you what, when I first
Well,
started.
look at us. If you could see us, we kind of match a little bit. We look like we planned this and we didn't.
I can't. Okay, let me see. No, I can't get you because you're not
Okay,
on my.
okay, you'll see later in the archive footage then, and you
Okay,
know, because we look like we were going out to some place together and we organized this, you know, this look.
good.
Yeah, it's not the same things, but the colors match. But go on, yeah, about the sync with the color. That's interesting.
What I've
You're
noticed, like, okay, for instance, what was that year that the world was supposed to come to an end? Was that 2002? Was
well,
that?
it was supposed to
Well,
happen several times in the
well, no.
past.
The
I
last
thought
time was when they
2016.
insisted that
Oh,
that
2012.
the and that the Aztecs and the
Right,
Egyptians and everybody had their clocks all set for a
right.
specific time,
2012,
and
December
20.
21st, or something like that, in 2012. It was the reversal of the numbers, 21 for 2012 or something like that, or I don't remember. Maybe it was supposed to be 1220. Was it 1220? Was it supposed to be? Maybe somebody knows.
I can't remember, but all I remember is that people were going into hysterics,
Oh yeah.
including the spiritual community that was trying to prepare everybody that the people that were enlightened were all going to disappear into another dimension, and the people that were not enlightened were going to stay in their dimension. But
Mhm.
whatever it was, people were going to be separated. Loving couples, friends, everybody was going to be separated according to the enlightened dimension that they were in,
Oh,
and that the world was somehow going to spin out of some cycle. And I was talking to people that were actually crying and upset about this. And around that time I started noticing the color white
hmm.
everywhere. I started noticing white clothing, white cars, white, white. And it
Wow.
was like, you know what? If this is true, I believe that, there's parallel dimensions going on in
Right.
the world at all times. Maybe we don't need to worry about this. Maybe all this white in my head is just a synchronistic message, symbolically saying we are protected and we are okay. Everything's going to be all right. And uh, crazily, about 2 to 3 years after that, I bought a white Cherokee. And that same year, I noticed white cars
Wow.
everywhere. And I don't know if it's in your area, but I can go down the street and
Hmm.
I could see 10 white vehicles following each other or all around in the parking lots. Is that in Illinois at all, or is this just an Iowa thing?
Well, I see color groupings of cars all the time. It's like all the red cars decided to travel together. You know what I'm saying? You see that. It's like, what is this, a parade? And I really haven't noticed at the time, like when you were talking about around 2012, I actually don't recall noticing the colors, but I was noticing other things instead. And what I wanted to add about that is that the end of the world could have happened in 2012, like how we discussed before, in another place, in another dimension,
Right.
perhaps. And also, the other thing to consider is that the end of the world can be a very personal thing. I mean, whenever we die, it's the end of the world. I mean, our world ends. If when the volcano erupted and killed the Mayans,
Pompeii? Or the
Pompeii,
Maya?
yes, Pompeii. You can bet that was the end of the world. That was the end of the world. I mean, that was the
Mm,
world. That's the end of
mm,
it. That's it. And
right.
if you're in your home and there's a big white light in the sky and the whole thing explodes and you're covered and you die with, ash or whatever, and you be blown away, that's the end of the world. Doesn't matter if it exists somewhere else. It really
Right.
doesn't
It
at
may
that
be the. It
point.
may be the.
Yeah.
It or I even wonder sometimes, as we sit and anticipate our death,
Hmm.
do we even know that we're dead? Because maybe
Maybe we
we
are.
just we just go on in some kind. I mean, I can't tell you how
Well,
many car accidents I almost died, and I
yeah.
always come out saying, "Hey, I'm okay." Well, was I? I mean, we
No, no,
don't
I
know.
truly do believe that every near miss that everybody has, and I say near miss because we're all still here. If you're here listening to it, you're here, and you survived your near misses. I consider those to be miracles, frankly, tiny little miracles, because you consider the odds. Consider the odds of still being here at this point, considering how our world has changed, and how the world has always been. It's always been tough. It's always been tough. I mean, we were barbaric 1,000 years ago, and we haven't
Are we
changed.
any? It's strange. I still think we're barbaric.
We are. We have
I
not.
think we're getting more barbaric,
Yeah, we
actually.
we have advancements in things that we can do in technology and discoveries, but I mean, not everybody is spiritually advancing. I mean, you only have half of the world or portions of it, but not everybody. And some of us have not. We're still animals. That's why we have the problem. They have that disregard. And I think as you evolve, you begin to feel more and more and more and become more aware of your place in the world, and you become more aware of all the other personalities involved in the world. And that's evolving, is to realize what you're a part of and how important it is, how your behavior affects things, how what you do affects other people, and the fact that you care. That shows spiritual involvement. It's when you don't care, and it's when you go after the prize and you stomp all over people and you kill people to get it because you want something. That is not evolvement.
No, but it sure
Okay.
did evolve the world when.
It evolves
Oh
the
God,
world a certain way, and
that
if you
was.
want to evolve in a certain way, sure. That's not evolving, though. That's
Yeah.
that's not that's like devolving. Okay, because you're not becoming any better. You just got better things to chase after, and maybe you got better tools to get them with and better weapons. But that's not spiritual advancement. That's not that attitude, the gimmies, the get out of my way. Even the way people drive, they're in such a hurry that they are willing to risk injuring, say, another person just to get what they want. That's not spiritual advancement.
No, not that's
that's
not
not that's
spiritual
not
advancement.
evolving as a
That's
human being.
that's more
We're
like the
supposed to be
living video game of Attila the
right,
Hun,
right,
or something where you gain cities and
right.
destroy people on your
That's
path. Um, I think that I can think of a few around that are kind of in that mentality right now, not
that's
wanting
not
to
evolving,
discuss
and
anything right now.
that's why we have the problems with countries, and that's why we have wars, and that's why we have any kind of a political problem, because there's always somebody involved that just doesn't give a shit about another human being, and that's what it is. It's something. It's involves something else that's monetary, and it supersedes what they should be thinking about. And
Right.
I've always believed that if you have power, then if you have gifts, if you have ability, you should use them to improve things, yourself, the world around you, home for your family. And if you have more power, more position, then it extends your reach and you can do even more. Okay. I'm not saying live like a pauper, give everything away. I'm just saying plan it, try to plan so that you can accommodate and you have some regard for some other people. You can't just crush people to dust because you want something. And it's always something that involves it's monetary. It's always the drive for something monetary. It's the gold. It's like in the card readings when I see pentacles, pentacles, pentacles. This is gold, gold, gold. And the methods of getting it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having things. There's nothing wrong with gaining. There's nothing wrong with winning. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's great if you can do it. but it's how you do it that makes the difference. There is no punishment for becoming rich and famous or anything like that, because it's a wonderful thing to have these gifts. But if you get that way by doing great harm to other people and having no disregard, that, oh, for one thing, I could say karma comes around big time, not when you're expecting it. And sometimes it doesn't seem like it is, but it does. It always does.
Right.
And because there's a penalty for devolving. There is a penalty for devolving. In my outlook and the way I see life, and all how this world is put together, and we have all these levels of existence in this world, all these creatures of different levels and different ways that they live, and the way their brains work and how their souls work. A lot of them belong to the collective because they're animals. That the smaller the creature, the smaller the brain, the younger the soul is, in my opinion. And these are all, souls are born, they all develop throughout time and generations and lives and evolving. But I see it too as there's a penalty for bad behavior and abuse of power, and that is then these people come back, possibly. I'm not saying for sure because I'm not really there and I don't know, but I would say logically they would come back as a less evolved creature.
That would seem to make sense.
Yeah.
But it also goes into our topic for today.
Mm-hmm.
And our topic today basically was all about, life chapters. Mm-hmm. And life chapters, which one are you in? Maybe we should have said, which dimension are you in?
Well,
but it's about, when we look at those old pictures on the wall of us being with our friends, or us when we were 18, or us when we were 21, or us when we were teaching or doing anything, playing music or whatever. That isn't us anymore. We don't have the same bones. We don't have the same. We have been completely rebuilt, and all of those skin cells and everything are different. Not only that, our chapters have changed. And they say, I don't know who they are, but they say every 10 years we slide into a new life chapter,
a new persona, even
a new persona. Because I look at you and I see such a change in 5 years.
I'm not the same.
That I've known you. Yeah. You're more rock and rollish now. Where before, where 5 years from now ago, you were more like the retired teacher or the retired librarian.
It's funny. Well, because I did retire from that. I did, and actually. This version of me is the version that I have experienced before, while I was right before and during college when I was a student. And people who knew me then, who still know me now, say, "Wow, welcome back." Like I have been away, and actually, I do. There is a feeling as though I have returned to something, or that a part of me has been asleep and now I'm in control, even though it's still me.
Is the truth?
Yeah.
I think that's the most amazing thing about. Well, I can't say for everyone, but maybe for us free-spirited people.
Well, some people don't change at all, I mean, I could think of one woman. There's a lady on TV I remembered seeing when I was a kid, Lee Phillips. Lee Phillips was a Chicago-based announcer who had her own show in the 60s, and she was married. I forgot who she was married to, but I don't remember what she was. But every time I'd see her, she always looked the same. And 15 years went by, and this woman, she always looked the same on TV. And I thought, is this just me, or is this? She is unchanging. The hairstyle exactly the same. Not a hair out of place.
A little more Botox, a little more to keep her the same, but look at Joan Rivers. Look at Joan Rivers. I mean, Joan Rivers was in her 80s and she never changed either.
Right. Right. She never. Well, she started to. You can only have so many facelifts, I think, before it really starts to show. But I would never do that, and not unless I had a physical need to, like say, like I could see if you're old and your skin covers your eyes. Well, get that fixed so you could see, But I can't see. Just for vanity, pulling up my wrinkles, I really can't see that. I
I
figure,
think a lot of those
yeah.
people do
Well,
that
I'm a guy. I'm just going to let myself
simply
age.
because
Yeah.
their work stops when
Yeah.
they don't keep themselves up.
Well,
They are
it's
in a
it's because they're
cosmetic, field, and they have to have those
hmm
facelifts and those gyms and those severe
well, they get
dieting. And
pressured
I
into
think
it.
they let
They get
themselves go
pressured
every
into
once.
it, because of fear. And if you're in business where you feel that your face is your thing, um, I think maybe that's all in their head. Maybe it really isn't so, and but whatever it is, that's why they do it. They feel they need to do this to hold on to their position, or whatever it may be, even if it's
Or I think of like Mary Tyler Moore and these people that went through children that died in drug overdose,
oh yeah,
or went through 19 divorces, and it never affects their persona. They just keep going on.
well they're professionals,
Well, yeah.
they actually the persona that they would have when they're just being themselves on the air, say in an interview or that's still the professional version of
Yeah.
who they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever they make any appearance, even if they're being themselves, that's the professional version of who they are, which is, it's with the makeup and they psych themselves up to do it and they do it. But what we don't see is when we're home, unless people are spying on them, and that's when they usually that's when photographers get the finger. It's like, what, you see me outside my backyard with my hair in curlers? Well, fine, yeah. I mean, you're.
Or
What do you expect people
you
to
go
look
into
like when
some
they're
of
at
these
home?
magazines.
Yeah, right.
You go into some of these magazines, and it's a full spread of someone's celluloid on their butt that
Oh, for
just did
Pete's
an
sake!
amazing
Oh my gosh!
that just did an amazing
You want to look at
performance.
the cellulite? I mean, I can see these actors and actresses like, what? You want to look at the celluloid on my butt? Oh, forget everything that you can do, right? Forget the talent, forget everything, forget the performances. They want to see the cellulite on your ass.
Or how
Like,
many
always,
pounds you
that's
gained,
always something to
or
look forward to. You know?
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, I know it's just amazing. But anyway, for the most of us, we're influenced by the choices
Oh, it
we make during those times that there's divorce or a job change or the
changes us.
empty
It's a
nest
chapter.
syndrome or
Yeah.
creative opportunity. So, what I'd like to focus on today is for reading for people that may be going through a life change. And if there is a life change, or let's say that you are going through anything in your life that you would like to have a reading on, just contact us today.
Mm.
Or it's a very quiet day. Everybody must be out playing in the blue, blue sky.
Oh, yeah. We have the nature for competition.
Yeah. So, anyway, anyone that's just home from work and taking their shoes off and in
Oh,
their
yeah.
underwear and just wants a reading in your underwear or something,
Yeah.
we
Yeah. We
invite you to
can't
come
see
on
you,
down.
so it doesn't matter what you're wearing.
It'd be kind of funny if we said, "Come for readings in your underwear."
Wouldn't that be funny
Um,
if the cameras went on and like, oh, we
so,
could see
so
you.
I thought, did you like do the one on how to deal with change? Did you get that?
Well, I did see the one about the chapters and about how we deal with change and how life changes us and how we go through the different chapters. And they're very distinct chapters if you stop to think about it in your lives. Like say there's a certain, like say every 10 years, there's a 10-year period where everything seems to be pretty much the same. It's almost like It's almost like you're the star of a TV show, and you keep changing the show. The show changes, or it's a different. There's definitely. I've always seen chapters in my life,
Mhm.
and so that's one of the things I think. What we're doing the readings on is we're going to try to see what chapter that you're in. When we give
Right.
readings. So, what chapter would you say you were in now, Anne Marie?
Oh,
If you see a chapter, if you could call it one, if you want to identify it, would you say that you're in the? And
I would.
you've seen your time periods. I mean, you had the time period where you worked. You worked didn't you work in a stockade? A
I was
meat.
going to say, I've had. Okay, I had see my chapters this way. I
Hmm.
see my chapters as being a stepchild raised by a Berlin Jew,
Oh,
stepfather. I see my next chapter as living in an avant-garde, wall lined with mirrors, shag carpeted music teacher that I worked as a nanny. Then I went on to my chapter of living in communes and organic farming. And then I went into the chapter of divorce and raising a son and working in a packing house to survive. And then I went into getting married and at like 51
hmm.
and finding that I could retire and be able to do what I always wanted, which I never thought would happen.
You
I
using your natural abilities and skills, yeah.
well, I mean that I've done all my life. Reading
Right,
I've
but I
done.
mean, to do the readings, to be able to,
Oh, and I
you know,
missed the
have
chapter where
time.
I've been performing on stage since 14,
Oh yeah,
and did music and writing and recording for years and years and years. But that's such an ingrained part of me that I kind of think of it as an
it's
umbilical
a
cord.
constant. That's
It's
something that's
constant,
not a chapter thing.
but
Yeah,
it's
it's a
traded. It's traded from music to
yeah,
speak. I am in the speaking of the rhythm. I am into
yeah.
the speaking of the reading. And so now instead of the music that I sing or that I perform in, I changed and traded it. And I traded it to what fit into spiritual gardening and my studio and Keen. And
Yeah, I mean, it becomes woven into. It's
it
like
is
we're still using those things. We're still using it, even though we're not making it like the focus. But it's like it becomes a part of what you're doing, and so it's always worth it to have the
well,
talents, even if you're not like say on a stage. There's a certain feel and a certain calm that you have that you don't have if you've never been on a stage. There's a certain you're not going to get as nervous and you're going to think differently once you've been on a stage. It does
right.
affect how you are as a person. It really does. Um, uh, it prepares you almost, for emergencies because you never know what's going to happen on a stage. You never know. It's a live
I
show.
I
Yeah,
was
but
on stage. I was on stage last night
oh, you were.
in front of the city council.
Oh wow. See,
I mean, I see.
but
It
all that
wasn't.
stuff
It
comes
was.
in
It.
handy because you never know when you're going to have to
It.
address city
It.
council.
It was not. It was not performing in a song, but I
No, you
remember
didn't sing
my
to them.
s- my speaking voice and
Yes.
thinking now project,
Yes.
project,
All
and
those
I remember thinking you're on. So
right. But
you
if you
know, and
sound professional, even in that situation, when you have those that training, and experience, when you get up from a crowd and speak, you immediately stand out from everybody else that doesn't have that. And you're going to get attention. They're going to listen to you because you're coming off like a pro. And so that automatically people feel like I have to listen to this person might be worth
They
my
may not
attention.
they may
Yeah,
not like that person that is not in the town, but when your
right.
speaking voice projects and you
Yeah,
know with confidence what you're talking about, and you've got them rolling in their chairs and you didn't mean to, but you just
right.
it's natural to try to make people laugh and loosen up. And then so when I started they said, "And you're up," and I was sitting there pleading my case about why they should throw white rock
Right.
on
Right.
my road. And I remember I spoke, and here were all these arrogant, very straight laced people looking at me like, oh. And I had about 7 minutes, and I pleaded my case. They said, "Well, okay, thank you very much, Anne. Thank you for letting us be aware of that." And then I said, "Thank you, my work is done." And I got up and walked away. But that was show. I
Right.
all of like you say, all of the things that I used on
Right. And you're
stage, I
being
got to
you, but you're
timing,
being,
timing,
yeah.
rhythm,
And it all comes natural. It becomes muscle memory. You don't even think about.
mhm,
People usually don't think about it. You know.
right? So how about you? What's your stages?
Well, my stages, well, of course, is obvious childhood. I would say that there's the artsy child phase for the first 10 years. Then it
Mhm.
was, which was actually quite good. It was social, it was artsy, and I grew a lot in terms of skill. And then there was the beginning of discovering psychic phenomena and having an interest in the paranormal. Um, Having a lot of questions about my Catholicism background and the
Mm.
parochial school I had to go to and all the church I had to go to, and which I don't see it as a bad thing, but I had questions, and so that was my period from, I would say, from 11 up until maybe I was from 11, it was like 6 years, from 11 to 16 was a period of actually it was very dark also at that time. And that's probably why I had so many questions, because it was a dark time for me emotionally.
Mm.
And it's like I went from this happy creative period to this really morose sort of thing. Like I was sort of a goth kid at that point, and that was before we even had a word for it, and that was before we had costumes. Because I was wearing a lot of black. I wore a lot of black, and yeah, I mean, looking back on the photos, it's like, oh my God, you were a goth, and you didn't, because
And you
everything.
didn't know it.
I didn't know it. I didn't say I'm going to be a goth. And that's the thing. It's like when people would say, "Oh, you were this, you were that." It's like, well, it wasn't in my head. I didn't join the goth club. Okay, there wasn't a. I was one of the artists in high school, and there was a certain categories of kids back then, which I won't get into because it changes every so often. I wouldn't know. No one would know what I was talking about. No, if I talked about greasers and jocks, and then you had your freaks and your artists, and then you had your
Oh
geeks,
God,
and
been there, done that.
so it's just it keeps changing, because then there's so many categories nowadays. I think they've gotten really precise about it. They've gotten more clever with it. But then there was the period of what I call Renaissance, where all of a sudden from through 16 through 20 was a renaissance period for me, because that's when I was studying theater and I was taking on another creative aspect. I did the drawing, I did some writing, and now I was going to be performing. So I was trying to it almost seemed like I was trying to hit everything, every period of my youth. And then I stayed with it. But then, of course, then I became Library Joe, you know, and that was different. But I was kind of like,
Was that
you know,
survival?
um, well, no, I don't know. I guess it was survival because I had to have a job. Of course, you have to have a job, and it's not like I was going to have this career laid out for me from my studies. You can't just expect, people are not knocking at your door. You have to work. And I planned on continuing with all of it. But of course, then, when you grow up, you have to pay for it yourself. So, and you have to pay your rent. and you got to pay your bills. So
Right. You got to
I
raise your
chose.
kid. You got to,
Well, I
you
had
can't,
slid. I
sometimes there's not
slid
always a
into the
partner
library
available.
chapter. The library chapter was being prologued in the last period. It was sliding in, and the tail end of that renaissance was me sliding into the library because I slid in part time as a student, and then I came back as a full time member, and then I was a different person again because now I was in charge, and I had college students under my charge. I was their boss. So
So,
I had to be different. I had to be a different person, and I had to be very precise because it was the library. So I became Mr. Precise, Mr. Anal Retentive about everything that involved. Well, I had to be. I've always taken any task that I do or anything that I'm working on, I'm going to take it to the hilt, and it's going to be the best damn thing you've ever seen, the best that I could do. And if it's going to be a librarian, I'll be the best librarian you've ever seen. And of course, I was unusual because I had long hair and a beard, and I was young, and people thought it was weird, and the town thought I was weird, but they thought it was cool. They even did a newspaper article about me. I was
oh,
hoping that it would be more about my department and all the work I was doing, but actually they were more interested in me. And I kind of
interesting.
didn't really want that, but I thought it was nice. They did a nice job. It was very nice. But what I was, because it was supposed to be about the library, but they just started focusing so much on me. It was a little weird. But then I had to make a change. It was a 6 year thing actually with me. It seems like sixes. So then I had to move on. And so I moved on to another position elsewhere for a school system, a place, because I've worked for colleges, I've worked for public libraries, and then I worked for a public school system, which was an elementary school system. And I was one of the people that made sure that the school libraries got what they needed, what
Mhm.
they requested, whatever their needs were, because they supplied the school and we supplied them. And I had 17 schools to deal with in 17 libraries. And whenever there was a new school library being built, our new building being built, we had to buy all those materials, all of it. We had to catalog it. And so we had to be anal retentive again. And we had to be really anal retentive because we had to keep track of 17 people. Now, I see you disappeared and you came back just now, and I see that we have callers.
We have many in quicks.
Well, let's bring them on.
And I think
You
I
don't want to.
didn't want to interrupt you,
That's
so
okay.
I did sign
I was
language.
filling in space. I mean, I'm sure nobody really wants to hear me blah blah blah.
No, 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 I think you have a very interesting life, and
Well,
it
it's
looks as if
yours
you.
too, and I think that those are our chapters. So we're going to try to find your chapter.
So we're looking at your chapter. Joseph from Tennessee says, "Hello, I recently got yelled.
Yelp,
I
Yelp.
Joseph recently got yelled at and had a confrontation with his boss. I want to move on, but I want to see what the cards say. Thanks. Joseph from Tennessee."
Okay. Oh, that is unfortunate. You know.
Mm,
Yeah.
well, you know what
Well,
we said, change is good sometimes, and that yell may have been a good kick in the butt for you, Joseph.
yeah. Well, sometimes these things do work out for the best. And actually, what I'm seeing is that at present, I'm seeing that Joe here is a I'm saying a male, or at present I'm seeing that he's either with somebody, a good friend, has the support of a good friend, or maybe is somebody who is a very self-confident and charming person. And I'm seeing like someone who's a nature lover, and somebody who's very enthusiastic and very somewhat emotional because of sensitivity, which is a good thing, really, but has courage and strong convictions. And I'm seeing that, Joe, if this is you, I don't think you really have anything to worry about, because sometimes we get involved with bad bosses and we're kept under their thumb and you can't do much. But I am seeing that, I do see that you need to keep yourself from getting into a creative rut, and maybe that's what caused the problem. And I'm seeing in the future you're being advised is to avoid getting stagnated. Okay. I have the feeling that the place that you're at was probably really causing the stagnation, and that's probably why you've had this. Maybe, you might have thought, well, if everything was okay, really, but maybe subconsciously it wasn't, because I'm seeing that you need to move. There has to be movement, but you need to be careful you don't move in the wrong direction. Now, I know that you want to leave this place, but I'm saying don't jump out of it so fast into the frying pan, from the frying pan to the fire. Try to stick this out and keep your eyes open if you really want to go, because you can, but just don't be in such a hurry that you take something worse and you'll wish you didn't. Okay, stay a while. Try to make this work. Try to and keep your eyes open, because now's not the time to jump out. But I am seeing that a good idea would be to get involved with other people while you still have this job, and get involved in starting some new projects, because I do see that that's a good possibility for you, as denoted in the Two of Swords, which unfortunately that landed upside down, but it's still pretty good. It's just
It still goes with what you said, because it says it may
yes,
not be the right time. Ding! That's your end.
that's my end. No, that's all right.
Okay. Joseph,
What do you think, Mary,
I
Anne Marie?
I have that you are somebody that is usually surrounded with good fortune, in the fact that you resonate with somebody that has polish. You resonate as somebody that could go far. Don't be surprised, including your boss, if people hate you. It's friendship, but it's upside down, which says that the fact that you are who you are and resonate with such excellence, or in some ways, don't expect people to pat you on the back and say, good job, Joseph, because more than likely people are going to either ignore your talents and gifts, or they're going to
They're going to
bitch at
exploit
you.
it. Yeah.
So
You know
it
what?
says,
Can I cut in just for a moment?
no,
I just is something that bothers me here, because in the past I'm even seeing that you made a wrong move here. Like, I'm seeing that it's for you're moving, and this current place that you're in is part of was another move that you made, but I'm seeing that it was just wrong moves. Like you're going in the wrong direction. It's like, yeah, there's momentum, but you're driving backwards, not forward. Okay, go on. I just had to say that. Go on.
Okay, so Joseph, it says intuitively really reflect and think back in all the people and the places and the jobs that you've been. Because I think if you really look back at this, Joseph, you're going to find that there's a pattern, and that it's just that when you think you're doing a damn good job, people don't necessarily warm up. And so your boss may be just following that pattern. And yes, I get that it means that you also, if you are getting oversensitive about this, you will flush away your life change. And as Joseph says, maybe this job isn't the be all end all for you. Maybe you just need to sit still for a while, because I show that in probably the next 2 months, the universe opens its heart and mind and shows you the blessings that you deserve. So hang in there, buddy. This is just part of the same old pattern of getting yelled at for being too good at what you do. All right, I'm going to take us to the chat room, and we had Laura, and she says, hey, Joseph and Anne Marie, can you see what the cards say about my weight loss? And about my weird boss. I'm
Oh my
sorry, you
word.
weasel. Sorry about my weird boss named Jason. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, weird bosses.
Weight loss.
Oh, weight loss. Well, I'm seeing that in the past that there was a lack of balance. Not there was a lack of balance in the past, a lack of financial balance here. That's probably the cause of this, or it's also maybe the cause of why you have to put up with this. But I mean, this person that you've been dealing with has imbalance. He has a past of imbalances, and this guy here, as reflected in the present day Nine of Wands, he's a bit on the defensive, and he's always like he's always like either looking for it or as on or just totally all over the road. And you need to really watch the what do you call what's your supplies, what's on reserve. You need to really, it's somebody that seems like you have to really watch what they're doing. It's not that they're bad, it's just that he seems to be somebody who makes some bad decisions and screws up. And I'm seeing that there are conflicts, and but I do see something working out. I do see that perhaps he's going to go away if he's a new boss, because I do see you having, it's represented by the marriage card, Two of Cups, where I do see that you're going to be in sync soon with another person, with another boss, or he's going to do a complete flip and become somebody that you can really work with. But I'm seeing that this craziness and this guy that you can't work with, or this guy that's difficult, that's going to go away. That's going to improve. Either he's going to improve or he's going to be out of there, and you're going to get somebody great very soon. And this is the near recent future. So maybe his contract is currently being negotiated already, or maybe because he's new, they're thinking, Or the other hand is he's new, he'll get it, and it will
Ding,
work out. Yeah.
Ding. Okay. I need
That's
a
all
little
right.
bell. One of us needs a bell. Okay.
I do.
All right. Nope. I'm just meaning an actual bell.
I need
What
a bell.
I have, sweetie, what I have, and I want to say that Rebecca said more like weight gain. So I had to send her a little
I see it
smiley.
working out, though. I really
Yeah.
do.
What I see about this guy is total manipulation. I see that he's an opportunist. I see that he focuses on any way that he can to be flexible, to go your way, but there's always a reason behind it that works to his favor. So when I look at this guy, it says have absolutely no doubt that he's not as grateful as he tries to pretend he is, or if he pretends that he is grateful, understand that there's some manipulation behind that. It's like my sister. I was just thinking about my sister yesterday, and she said, it's the oddest thing. My boss gave me a birthday card, and everybody signed it. And then when I said, see you all, nobody said goodbye back. And she said it was such a mixed message. It was like, here, have a birthday card, we're all great people. But then when it came to actually being in reality, they were all assholes. So or they didn't really follow through with the kindness with their manipulative card. So I guess what I'm saying is Jason seems a little like that, and I'd say go with the rest of what Joseph says. So
yeah, it will improve. Either he's out, or you're going to get something new, or you're going to find something new. But it's all going to happen pretty soon. There will be an improvement.
Great. So we have, I'm going to go back to the other In Quick. We have the chat room and we have the In Quick. This is for Rebecca from Oklahoma. Hello, I applied to a teaching job. Can you see if I will get it? I'm so excited.
Well, that sounds very exciting.
Yes.
I'm going to shuffle these. Shuffle, cut. Yeah. Is she going to get that job? Is she going to get it? Is she going to get it? Well, let's see. What we have here is the outcome being the Five of Wands. So I'm seeing that you're going to have some obstacles, and you have to watch out. There's competition for this job. So you're going to have to deal with competition. And there's also somebody you have to watch out for since people are so desperate and want this job, you might have a secret opposition once you get it. Okay, but I am seeing that you have some rivals, and it won't be easy to get. But I don't see you really getting this particular job, because I'm seeing it's caused by two other people at the same time trying to do this. The competition is really strong. The cards don't see it, unless you really don't try to be as honest as you can. Do not try to fluff up you puff up yourself. Be honest, and that might help. That might help a lot. Don't let the competition make you think you have to lie to make yourself look better, and don't try to be like them. Be yourself and be unique as yourself, because that might work for you here, but I'm not seeing it as a strong possibility. Okay, at this
Um,
time.
that's interesting. What I have, Rebecca, says, um, and it's kind of your way and kind of another way. It's still very 50-50. And it says, relax. This is not the only teaching job in the world. And it says, if they don't hire you, then let them be the dummies that they are, because it's probably not a place that would respect your talents and gifts anyway.
Mhm.
It says, do open your horizons for other teaching jobs. I believe that this is the preliminary to a great chapter in your life, a great life chapter. I hope you get the job, but please understand that if you do not get the job, there's something else
Mhm.
around the bend for you. And
Yeah.
one of the things it says is be patient
Mhm.
and intuitively try to feel the energy of this school. I think that you have great supportive qualities about you. I believe you're a secure person, but I also think that don't let this be the be all end all.
Mhm.
Put some
You know,
put some applications out. Yep. Mhm.
I'm getting an odd vibe about this particular school, and I don't
Mhm.
think it's going to be a loss if you don't get it, because what I'm seeing here is that there's a selfishness involved with administration here, and
Mhm.
this is not what it seems. I'm watching somebody. It's a place full of envious people, a lot of jealousy, a lot of backbiting, and I'm just seeing it. I'm seeing this here as that, and to agree with here with even with Anne Marie's, not this job, okay? Maybe not this one. It, this is the one that you might not get, but don't worry about it. Okay, this is not the one. This is not the look elsewhere after you go through your interview. Have other things lined up, okay? And don't make this your sole aim, because it's not a
There's
great
there's a
place.
there's a Hail Mary pass about ready to happen for you.
Yeah,
And
yeah, there
it may not
is.
be this one.
This is
Um,
not it. Yeah,
yeah.
this is not it. But there's another.
We have unknown in Ohio. Okay, this is Casmer. Hello.
Hi, Casimir.
Hi, yes, Casper. Hi. Hi, Casper.
Hi.
Just real quick, I know it's towards the end of the show, but just a general quick money reading for me, please.
All
Okay.
right. And for what months?
Now.
About the next three?
Okay.
Next week?
All right. I'm going to do a single
Yeah,
card
maybe three.
draw.
Single card. That's all we have time for.
Yeah. Single card. Where's the money?
Oh. Mm.
All right. I'm seeing. Oh, well, gosh.
Me too. Me too.
Okay. I do see that you have some pressure from people. It just seems like you have a little battle going on, or it's something internal, and it may be social and internal. But you know what it is? It's that I'm seeing that it might be. Oh, God, I'm seeing I'm seeing what could be a really favorable thing coming your way, like a legal decision being made. That's the only thing I'm seeing coming. Like I'm seeing money coming your way from something that was decided, and I'm not. But I am seeing. But it's a weird thing. It's like it's not a logical thing. But I am seeing money coming in your favor regarding a decision being made. Anne Marie, what do you see that? Because what I've got here is the Hanged Man upside down, and I'm seeing conflict, and I'm seeing that you're a project. I'm seeing that your efforts towards a project might be in vain, but I am seeing a favorable thing legally coming your way. So go on.
I have the card of opportunity reversed.
Yeah.
So that's about the same thing as the Hangman reversed. If you're looking for a financial gain next week, honey, according to what I'm looking at, there's going to be delay on that. So what that says to me is don't put all your eggs in one basket for next week. This is something that could take a while. In fact, I see it's more likely 3 weeks before I see money coming your way in a great financial way. But the next 2 weeks, no.
I don't know about the legal thing. There's something about that where I don't know if you're if you're waiting for a benefit or something. I do see that, which is it's kind of an odd thing.
There's one place I worked for a few years ago that still owes me about $5,000 or $6,000 in back pay, so I was thinking about taking them to Muni Court.
Yeah, I do see that being. Yeah.
Our show's over. We have to go.
Oh well, good luck with that. That sounds. Yeah. Okay, we gotta go. Bye-bye.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.